All right, and we are back. 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 Welcome. All right, and we are back. And today we're back with another reaction video. And guys, I know it's been a while. I have been going through some personal things, so I do apologize. But we're back with another extra history reaction. We're doing part 2 to the Buddhist expansion. This one is called The Serial Killer Monk. This seems like it's going to be an interesting one. So guys, if you haven't already, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe to the channel. You literally never know what I'm going to put out next. And also, make sure you go to subscribe to Extra History if you haven't already. They make really great content, and I'm really excited to get back into this. Guys, this is going to be a series. We're going to get through this. So, again, I do apologize for the length, the wait, the hold. But, you know, other content has been out there, you know, and I'm getting back into this one here. So, guys, let's get right into it. Before we do, just want to make sure that you guys know, I almost never bring this up, and you guys know this, but I do have to mention it at least this one time right now. That is, if you guys don't like, comment, and subscribe, more importantly, subscribe, YouTube will come through that door right over there, and they will. Extra History, the Buddhist expansion, part 2.
Northern India, 6th century BCE. The wild man Angulimala tears through the jungle panting, a necklace of human fingers dangling from his neck. He's killed 999 people, ambushing them on the road and dragging them from houses, taking a finger from each. And he just sighted his 1000th victim, an old monk. Yet no matter how hard he runs, he can't catch him.
"How are you so fast, old man?"
he shrieks.
"I want your fingers. Stop. I must have you."
Now, he robs them and takes their fingers, or he just takes their fingers? I feel like the finger cutting business is like, it's a limited, like, how many people are really trying to do anything? I mean, I guess like if they're like for personal use and you're just trying to intimidate people, but like, are you doing anything with the money and everything, or are you just using the fingers? Let me hear that one more time.
Killed 999, a necklace of human fingers dangling from his neck. He's killed 999 people, ambushing them on the road and dragging them from houses, taking a finger from each. And he just sighted his 1000th victim.
So he's not even doing this for money, or he's just taking fingers. This guy's insane.
An old monk. Yet no matter how hard he runs, he can't catch him.
"How are you so fast, old man?"
he shrieks.
"I want your fingers. Stop. I must have your fingers."
"I have stopped," the monk replies. And as impossible as it may seem, it's true. The monk stands immobile, yet as Angulimala runs, the land stretches between them.
This is Buddha. This guy is the Buddha. He knows how to do like the expansion of the universe technique and stuff. Like, it's like, if you guys ever seen like Journey to the West, where the Monkey King tries to, Buddha has the Monkey King in his hand, and it's like, all right, all you got to do is leap from out of my hand, and you'll be out, you'll be good to go. And then bro tries to leap out of his hand, and it's like, oh, he thought he leapt outside of the freaking planet and stuff, and it's like, oh no, turns out you're still in my hand. I'm one with the universe. So you can't escape. It's ever extending, just like this hand. It's all one. I am the spoon type stuff.
I've stopped the cycle of death and rebirth. Now you, Angulimala, why don't you stop? Humbled by this display of power and wisdom, Angulimala drops to his knees, presses his blood-stained hands together, and begs Buddha to take him as a student.
Wow. Now, don't use these lessons to murder people and take their fingers more. I hope not. Let's make sure that these are going to be becoming a better person. Shout out once again to Extra History.
Thanks so much to HelloFresh for continuing to help us bring history to the table.
Hey, shout outs to HelloFresh. I don't know if you can get these codes anymore, but try them out. You never know.
Now, you may have noticed in the first episode of this series, when we talked about how Buddha attained his awakening and discovered the Four Noble Truths, we included a few more gods and demons than in, say, our John Brown series. Well, that was a deliberate choice. See, we don't have many historical sources for Buddha's life. And actually, Buddhism isn't that interested in the historical Buddha. What's important to them is the meanings of these stories, rather than strict factuality. As a result,
it's like Protestants, you know? I'm a Protestant myself, so I can say this. You know, like, hey, some of those stories in the Bible, hey, man, those are just like lessons you got to learn, you know? But I know some people, you know, Catholics and stuff, and a lot of people are like, yo, every story in that Bible happened. It is a fact. So there's a difference there. Some people care more about the lessons, you know, and then about the actual stories themselves.
Historians look at early Buddhism through the lens of oral history, analyzing these stories to extrapolate what the early Buddhist community looked like. Who joined? Why did they do so? And what made Buddhism attractive? Because it seemed to be very attractive. Within 45 years, Buddha would go from 10 close followers to a faith community of thousands. So why? I mean, that's the question that's at the heart of every academic.
I mean, bro was able to move time and space. You could run after him and he was like, I'm not even moving, but you'll never catch me. If you could do stuff like that, you're going to get a lot of followers. I'm sorry. I might be one of those people that are like, whoa, this guy knows how to control time and space. I might want to hear what he got to say, you know?
History of a religious movement, right? Why did the Buddha's message appeal to people, spread, and endure when thousands of competing ideas died out? Buddhism, after all, did not arise in a land devoid of religious tradition. On the contrary, it was rich with them. Brahmanism, a historical religion that was a precursor to Hinduism, dominated the cradle of Buddhism. Not to mention that concepts such as reincarnation, the cycle of death and rebirth, and fulfilling your dharma, or righteously living out your societal role in castes, whether it be a soldier or laborer, etc., were already well established. And much of Buddhism would be an attempt to critique, evolve, or react against these concepts. Well, Brahmanism was weakening because it wasn't that spiritually fulfilling, a fact we suspect due to a large number of splinter groups arising at the time, from Buddhism to Jainism to ancient Hinduism and others that died out, most of which that appear to address an anxiety over reincarnation. But you might be thinking at this point, wait, why would people want to exit the cycle of death and rebirth? Living infinite lives sounds pretty great. Oh.
Nah, you want to be part of the Brahma again, guys. Here's the thing. Reliving life is cool and everything. Being alive is nice. I love it personally. But if you get the chance to be back a part of the whole that is all of light and all of good, I think you might want to take that chance. You know, that's just me though. I'm over here like, yo, you get to relive life, has its heartaches, has its great moments, or you can be part of the eternal Brahma, and you know, be a part of the eternal essence of all that is good and pure and light and all the good stuff, all the good words in the world, in the universe. Actually, you know, some people are like, yo, let me make it there. I gotta get wise, you know, become a Buddha, you know, so I can break through the chains and, you know, get back to where I'm supposed to be, get my spirit right. You know what I mean?
Okay, but on the other hand, does it though? Think of it this way. Would you want to experience all of the highs and lows of life all over again forever? Sounds kind of exhausting to me. And also, it's important to remember that this was a time before modern medicine, where childbirth, aging, and sickness were extremely painful and dangerous. In fact, it was more normal to be sick than it was to be well. The mortality rate was high for children and women, and political instability spurred regular warfare. Oh, and then there's hell. Wait, did we not mention hell before? Because between each rebirth, you would be pitched into the realm of Yama, god of the underworld, and hellaciously tortured to burn off bad karma.
What? Why did nobody tell me about this part of it? I feel like this is the first time I've heard about this part of that. Like, you actually have to go to hell first and then you get reincarnated? What type of man? Oh, bro, come on. Get me a part of the Brahma immediately, bro. Screw all that. I don't want to be. And then you got to go through life again after that. And then you might not even be like a rich guy. You'll just be like a normal person. Even after going to hell, you're just still like a normal guy who could still, at that point, mess up everything and just not even live your life good enough and go through the 8 steps and go through the wheel. And you could just be some person living a horrible life. And now you got to just go through this all again. You got to go through hell again just to burn away all your sins and then become reborn. And then bam, you're just a normal guy again. You know, maybe you got a messed up family this time. Hopefully they're a cool family. But what if they're not a cool family? We all know not cool families. Come on, guy. Hey, I'm with all the people trying to be part of the Brahma again. Shout outs to y'all.
Sidebar, this guy is Yama. Yeah, he's kind of a boss. So, with all of that said, you sure you still want to keep riding this cosmic Ferris wheel forever? But even outside wanting to become a monk and attain nirvana in this life, Buddhism still held appeal for the lay people as well. They were encouraged to meditate, to moderate their behavior, live by ethical codes, and maintain love for their family and community. Monks also worked in said communities as counselors, spiritual advisors, and teachers. In other words, Buddhist practice held immediate benefits in improving relationships and fostering an outlook ideal for coping with an ever-changing and sometimes chaotic world. Okay. After all, if everything isn't permanent, negative things and troubles will also pass. And the religions that last are the ones that do these things, that use ritual, moral, and theological codes to benefit the individual practitioners as well as their communities. And that community aspect was strong in Buddhism, since monks also worked as counselors, spiritual advisors, and teachers in their communities. This was by design, by the way. Buddha wanted to specifically tie the monks and lay people together. In fact, Buddhism is a religion dependent on urbanization, because you see, monks had many prohibitions. They couldn't harm sentient creatures, eat meat, or sleep in a soft bed, but most crucially, they couldn't handle money. Meaning without cities and towns, monks simply couldn't operate. Each morning, monks would go into the community with begging bowls. Then the community would donate food to them as a way to support their religious mission. And when the monk's bowl was filled, he would return and eat it all as his only meal. And this act engaged the lay people in the upkeep of their religious community. Of course, some gave more, such as wealthy converts donating pieces of property for monks to use, thereby founding the first monasteries. Now, these donations helped worshippers build karmic merit, but they also mirrored Buddha's renunciation of worldly things and trappings. But then, for people who wanted to gain enlightenment as soon as possible, that very renunciation could also mean renouncing life and becoming a monk. And doing so, while difficult, could have great rewards, especially for people who needed a total change, like the finger-collecting serial killer that we talked about in the beginning of this.
Now, I still think he should go to jail. I think he should pay for the crimes. Let's be real here. 999 people got their fingers taken and probably their lives. Let's be honest here. And what is this? So this guy is just going to become a Buddhist and it's all going to be forgiven? I get it. You know, whatever. He's a changed guy. But why don't you do your new practices in the current jail that you will be going to for your previous crimes? You know, that is that not still like a karma thing? Like, is this not still like justified reaction to put them in jail for a while? You know, like, come on, he stole 999 fingers. That's a lot of fingers. He was on his way to his 1,000th finger. 1,000. Come on, guys. It's almost like I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. All you got to do is subscribe, people. Just come on, guys. Don't be like that. Subscribe.
This episode, Buddha's conversion of Angulimala demonstrates Buddhism's promise of redemption. Not only did Angulimala reform, the stories claim that that reformation was so total that he became spiritually reborn, attained nirvana, and worked miracles. In fact, Buddha himself declared that Angulimala, upon his death, had exited the cycle. It's a story that emphasized that not only can anyone redeem themselves in Buddhist belief, but that the eternally changing nature of the world offers hope. For if all is passing, then even someone in a state of what might be called evil can become good.
Yeah, again, I believe you, and I respect all that. But can't he become good in jail while serving for the crimes he did commit? Like, those are pretty serious crimes. There's 999 people walking around here with one less finger because of him, or not walking around at all. He might sold multiple fingers from a couple of people, you know? There might be a guy with 2 fingers gone. There's probably at least one person without a hand. Are we gonna just that handless person just gotta, go live their life with no justice? Come on, man. I'm speaking up for the guy with no hand. There's a guy with zero hands now. He took 10 fingers from that guy. Like, what are you gonna like, come on. Are you gonna like give that guy? Are you gonna like learn how to repair? Were one of the miracles that he did was repairing people's fingers? Like, I need to see something right now. I need to hear something that's gonna be like, yo, he fixed some dude's fingers right there. This guy had no fingers. He gave him fingers because he used to take people's fingers. So now he gives people fingers. He's like Robin Hood for fingers. Like, come on, bro.
Interestingly, though, the story is a bit more complicated. One morning, when Angulimala went out to beg for food, several of his victims' family members broke his bowl and beat him. Then, when he asked the Buddha why this was allowed, even though he was spiritually reborn, Buddha informed him that even though he'd repented, the harm of his violence could not be undone, nor the karmic consequences.
Yeah.
That's a surprisingly modern idea of reconciliation. In Angulimala, we also see a man seeking out Buddhism as a way to atone for violence, and perhaps some other early adherents were doing the same. Because as we'll see later, when we discuss Chinese Buddhism and Kung Fu, this religion will come to hold a special appeal for former soldiers. Others were likely attracted to Buddhism's egalitarianism. For instance, among Buddha's inner circle was Umpali, a poor barber who Buddha ordained as a monk alongside princes, showing the movement's rejection of the caste system. Buddha also permitted an order of nuns, though in truth only after his aunt hounded him to do so for 5 years. However, he insisted that nuns follow even more rules and would rank lower than the lowliest monk.
Oh,
Women,
wow.
he believed, belonged with families and were too emotional to excel in monastic life. Despite this somewhat insulting.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. The Buddha was a little sexist, huh? Jeez. Why is that not surprising? All this talk, and the guy is still just like, oh, but, women, we can't really attain all this peace if there's women around. That's like one of those boomer jokes where it's like, guys, this murderer here, this guy who took 999 fingers, yeah, he can definitely make it past this life. He can break the cycle. This chick is annoying. She keeps asking me to do stuff, and it's like, all right, give her more rules and then maybe. But I don't know, man. That's hilarious. And I'm sure there's people out there. I'm sorry if this is like me just being ignorant. It's probably me just being ignorant. Let's be honest here. But it does seem hilarious that even the Buddha was like, man, he really had to get nagged about it for 5 years to be like, all right, fine. I think women can find eternal peace too. Like, come on, bro.
Resulting inclusion, Buddhist nuns would go on to use even this restrictive role to exercise power and influence. For 45 years, Buddha lectured and built his community, and by the time he was old and suffering from back pain, he had thousands of followers divvied into 6 schools. Supposedly, his cousin had even briefly founded a breakaway group. But then, one fateful day, he ate a meal donated to him, got sick, and died in meditation, passing into parinirvana. Which is a pretty low-key way to go by the standard of religious founders' deaths, if you think about it. Usually they're executed for their beliefs, or they ascend directly to heaven or something. He left instructions for his body to be cremated, with his mortal remains built into a mound known as a stupa. But while his wishes were clear, his sudden absence presented a problem. During his life, the Buddha had spread his message orally, which was fine when he was available to settle disputes or clarify his ideas. But with him now gone, the community realized they needed to commit his message onto paper, lest it be lost in a game of telephone. It's said that they called for a conference of all 6 schools. There, Buddha's personal attendant Ananda, who had a flawless memory, told episodes of the Buddha's life and recalled his teachings. Meanwhile, the former barber Upali, who had memorized all of the rules of monastic life, recited them so they could be recorded. And these formed the first written doctrines of the Buddhist spiritual movement.
I love the supposedly at the top. Now, I'm going to go ahead and blindly believe in all of this right now. So yeah, this sounds pretty cool. This sounds like a pretty good way to handle it. I mean, maybe you should have did this before he died, like maybe like call a meeting when he was just old and kind of make sure to get this done. But I guess it was like, he's around and he'll be there. But it's like, somebody should have had the forethought to be like, he won't always be around. Eventually, he's gonna have to either go through the cycle or break the cycle, so he's not gonna be here anymore. And even if he doesn't break the cycle, he's not gonna be here in its present form to help us out anymore. So, like, we got to figure this out. We got to get this written down ASAP. So, I mean, it would have been better if he could have been involved in this personally. But again, hindsight is 2020.
Also, this was only, at least by tradition, the first of these conferences. A second would come about a century after Buddha's death. Though, by that time, Buddhism had split into 18 different schools, including one, Theravada, which still exists today. Yet an even greater split was coming, one that would help Buddhism spread across Asia, and its key figure would not be a monk, but a king, Ashoka the Great. And speaking of great, HelloFresh! All right, I know it wasn't my best transition ever.
I enjoyed that transition, but we're going to go ahead and talk about HelloFresh. HelloFresh is a great resource, guys. You can get meals delivered directly to your home at a very low cost with HelloFresh. And I'm sure they're still doing a promo, because would you rather be at the grocery store having to look up all the ingredients and get all the stuff and pay a bunch of money? You got to leave out the house. You got to pay for gas. It's cold out there. You got to bring boots and a coat and do all that stuff. And shopping isn't fun. That cart's going to be cold or rainy and stuff. You're gonna put your hands on it. Other people have their hands on it, so you're gonna have to wash your hands afterwards. It's gonna be a mess. Or you can just have everything delivered right to your house, have all the ingredients that you need to be making stuff like this at home. You'll be like a chef. They'll be calling you chef whatever your name is, and then they'll be like, oh my gosh, I love this food. I love this steak, this hearty steak and potatoes. You made this? Oh my gosh, this mozzarella crusted chicken is incredible. This winter chicken orzo dinner is the best I've ever had in my life. This when steak met potatoes is the best steak and potatoes mix since the last steak and potatoes thing you made. I love steak and potatoes.
With over 40 different recipes.
There are over 40 different recipes. Look at this Tex-Mex chicken, bean, and pepper wrap. You're going to be eating that wrap like, oh my gosh, I helped produce this. Incredible. They're going to give you everything you need. Look at this. All these different ingredients. They're going to tell you what's inside. Easy recipes to follow. High quality ingredients. They're actually sourced straight from the farm, people. You've never had ingredients straight from the farm before. Look at you. You're a city person. You're over here eating city pigs. These pigs never even seen a farm for real. I don't know if that's true, but it probably is. Look at this. It's fun cooking experience. You'll feel unstoppable. You'll be like, nobody's better than me. You'll be like, I got to get on that thing where you got to challenge that chef to a chefing competition. You got to out chef them thanks to HelloFresh. Because he's never had ingredients that's fresh. You're going to be like, when is Food Network going to call me up for a show? Because look at me and my HelloFresh. They're going to call the show Hello Foods, Hello Fresh Foods with your name individually. That's how unstoppable you're going to feel. It's going to be incredible.
Well, they got you covered on all of that. And
they got you covered. And how much is it? Look at this. Look at this meal he made. Look at this. This looks incredible. I would eat that right now. I would probably take the lime out of there.
Scallions and buttery rice.
Which was just buttery rice. Look how quickly he made that. That wasn't even sped up. That was real time. He's actually really quick. Look at this real time cooking. He actually cooked it that fast, ladies and gentlemen. That's why it's HelloFresh. It's Hello Fast. It's very, very quick. Look at this family. The cat even got some. Incredible. Get HelloFresh, 23% less food waste compared to when you go grocery shopping. Now, wouldn't you love to waste less food? Wouldn't you love to be like, man, I actually consumed all the products that I purchased. I feel like I have saved money, but also not wasted money. So now you're saving double the amount of money and the environment, because now your carbon footprint is 31% lower. How about that? You're not driving to the grocery store. You're not adding more. You're not messing up the roads even more than they need to be messed up. How about that? You're saving everything. You're becoming a better person. You know, your CO2 levels of the atmosphere are going down because of you person. Feel good about that. Now, you also use the code 50 extra credits at HelloFresh.com for 50% off plus free shipping. Now, I don't know if this deal is still happening, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm still going to run this promo as if it is. So go ahead and check them out. Link will be in the description below. Check them out if you want to get your HelloFresh. I'm sure they'll be doing some type of deal even to this day. Check them out. Let them know that I sent you and tell them how great of a promo this was, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that being said,
Angela Valenciana, Arclight Games, Casey.
Hey, shout outs to their patrons. This was a great video. I enjoyed this highly. I still think 999 fingers is a lot to cut off. And obviously there are still going to be repercussions for that. So shout out to the Buddha for recognizing that, hey, just because you changed don't mean your actions got magically fixed, bro. People still walking around here fingerless because of you. So, you know, you got victims, they got families, they didn't become Buddhist. Again, shout out to Buddha. Shout out to the whole team here at Extra History. I really do love these. And if you guys love these, make sure you like, you comment, subscribe, and join me for the next one. So with that being said, if you made it this far, as always, thank you. I love you. Bye.